Well, Athi Mtongana has been following the proceedings, joins us live from Cape Town. Athi, it's unimaginable to think of the figures that are being thrown around when it comes to COVID-19 corruption. All of this happening in a period of less than 5 months.
Totaling 5 billion rands, Kathy. That's a lot of money that is needed in the country right now. Kathy, we know that even before the global coronavirus pandemic, the country was suffering in terms of its economy. So right now, we're looking at 5 billion rands worth of money that has been spent through alleged corruption related to the procurement processes of personal protective equipment. That's what came out of this virtual briefing this afternoon by the SIU, speaking to the Standing Committee on Public Accounts. And what's interesting, Kathy, is that no province in this country is not listed in the SIU's investigation. Every single province in the country is enlisted in that list that the SIU is looking at and is investigating at this point in time. Now, just to give you an idea, Kathy, of the top 3 provinces that are implicated in the investigations that the SIU is currently looking at, the Western Cape, for example, Kathy, you're looking at the SIU here looking at some of the procurement processes, of course, related to PPE, bid manipulation and leaked documents. We're looking at the sale of fraudulent sanitizers. We're talking about irregular procurement of processes that are related to the neurological microscope equipment. Similarly to Gauteng, Kathy, we see that in Gauteng as well, about 30 companies there are also being investigated on how they procured medical equipment. We're also looking at about 32 companies in Gauteng that are being investigated for services that are related to catering, flights, counseling sessions for staff, legal costs, car hiring, printing, computers. And then you go to the Eastern Cape there, where the SIU is looking at irregular procurement of goods and services, the decontamination of infrastructure. We're looking at the leasing of 55,000 tablets and e-learning platforms. You're looking at the irregularities of the procurement processes regarding the refurbishment and the alteration of some clinics and hospitals. So the list is endless, Kathy. I could literally go on and on and on. But what's important to note is that every single province in South Africa is being investigated in terms of the procurement processes related to PPE. And all of this, Kathy, is totaling about 5 billion rands for now. Remember, this investigation is still ongoing. The SIU needs to regularly, every 6 weeks, update the president. And what they concluded today as SCOPA is that after the SIU briefs the president after each 6 weeks, they also need to brief Parliament as well, specifically the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, on what they have unearthed in the irregularities that they are investigating in the country.
Well, Athi, it sounds like the COVIDpreneurs, as they're being called, were having a field day. Are there particular departments that seem to have experienced more incidents of this criminality? Are there particular departments that have more cases being investigated than others?
Definitely, Kathy, in a country that is well known historically to have national government departments involved in corruption, lo and behold, we had a list of about 5 national government departments that have been implicated. We're talking about the Department of Labor, and there they're looking specifically at the Unemployment Insurance Fund, and also we're talking about the Department of Defense. They are yet to determine the exact amount there. And then you also look at the Department of Education, the Department of Public Works, and it was interesting today that the SIU revealed that they have concluded their investigations around the Beitbridge border. You're also talking about the Department of Correctional Services. So these government departments, Kathy, are also implicated in the alleged corruption related to PPE. And it's been interesting to hear how even the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts was saying that they have written to Treasury to ask them to try and implement a process where there is a public adjudication process for tenders, so people can actually see who's bidding for these tenders and how these companies and who these companies are and whether or not they have a good track record or not. And so we know that also this Friday, Kathy, Scopa will also be meeting with the Interministerial Committee that is also tasked at kind of like overseeing the investigations that were called upon by President Cyril Ramaphosa. That particular meeting will take place on Friday. Of course, that Interministerial Committee is led by the Justice and Correctional Services Minister, Ronald Lamula, which I'm sure is going to get a lot of questions from members of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts.
All right, Athi, let's leave it there for this evening. Athi Mtongana was in Parliament watching that briefing.